John Cena versus AJ Styles is the match of the year. I don't care what anybody says. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where today we are breaking down Crown Jewel Perth, which came to you guys live at the wee hours this morning of 8 a.m. Eastern time. What a show. I thought this was one of the better WWE shows of the year, and that John Cena AJ Styles match was one of the best matches I've seen this year. I was thoroughly sports entertained throughout that entire match, and I absolutely loved every single part of it. But I want to talk about it with you, Sean, and we're just gonna like break it right down because let's actually just get into that match because it was the third match on the card, and I just thought it was absolutely spectacular. All the callbacks and all of the just the beginning of the match, like WWE has a formula for a lot of their matches, right? Like it's, a lot of chops, a lot of rest holds, a lot of people being thrown into the corner and like, running at, someone and throwing your knees up or smashing them with a clothesline into the corner. And then, a couple of finishers and a couple of kickouts. And then, something goofy happens and then there's a winner. And 90% of WWE's matches go in that kind of formula. This match was move after move after move. And it wasn't just finishers, because the finisher spamming came as the second half of the match. The first half of the match was like move after move. Like, Cena did a lariat and then AJ Styles countered with the Styles Clash. And like they were just going back and forth, trading moves. And there was a part where they were both kind of like, standing wobbly legged, where they were like throwing haymakers at each other that looked really kind of like soft and pathetic. But I mean, once this match kind of like never missed a beat. Cena looked great. Styles looked great. I loved that, I loved the little script that Styles gave to Alicia Taylor to read, or Cena gave to Alicia Taylor to read about Styles at the start of the match. You could tell he was like getting emotional about that. That was really cool. And then just all of the finisher callbacks from, Styles doing Sweet Chin music to Cena doing the RKO and the Sister Abigail, and then finishing the match with the Tombstone. Outstanding. Just absolutely outstanding. It was, I'm sure that there are people out there that hate it, but that was sports entertainment through and through. It was an awesome match. You could tell those guys were having a blast doing that match. And frankly, to me, that's what wrestling's all about. I don't need it to. We had plenty of serious moments on this card, but we also had that. And I thought that was perfect because we just don't get enough of that.
No, you are 100% right. This is 100% what wrestling is about. It's about going out there and fake kicking each other's asses, but having fun while doing it. And these two guys, like you said, were having the time of their life. And I don't give a shit that there was zero storyline behind this match. This was probably John Cena's best match in 10 years.
Mhm.
And um probably since he did like his actual matches with like Owens and Styles like earlier on. And I loved it. I think that the story they told was great. The interactions they had together were fantastic. I I don't think it'll get rated a 5 star, but it should definitely be, like you said, in contention for match of the year. As far as WWE goes, it is 100% a match of the year candidate. And obviously Cena won. We all got that correct. And it just proves the fact that no, like he's not going to lose again until his last match. And now even that might be in question based on some of the stuff that I've been hearing.
Yeah, I mean, just superb from top to bottom. And we know Styles is obviously going to be done in 2026 as well, but I can't say enough good things about this match. I didn't look away. Like every
Nope.
other match on this show, I was kind of like in and out of a little bit. Even the main event, like I was in and out of it a little bit. I think like, for the women's championship match, I was looking at down at my phone for half of it because it didn't grab me. Even the Roman Reigns match, it didn't grab me. This match,
So
I was hooked. I was like, I can't look away from this. Like, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. And it was absolutely fantastic. It's everything I want in my professional wrestling. The nostalgia, the callbacks, the larger than life personalities, the overselling. Like, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I'm so glad that we got to see this. And, there's nobody better than AJ Styles. Like, John Cena's been, he's definitely been putting on better matches lately, minus the Lesnar match, but the AJ Styles is just the best. And it is going to be such a shame. And I'm actually going to be saying this probably a couple of times throughout this show. But it's going to be such a shame when we lose AJ Styles next year.
so you said it, larger than life personalities. It's one of the big things that wrestling, modern day wrestling, is missing. It's why Roman Reigns is as good as he is because he has that larger than life personality. It's why The Undertaker, even though we all knew he wasn't a zombie dead man, was as over as he was. Um, and I think that's something that's missing in the product as a whole. You don't really see a ton of those type of personalities and characters anymore. I mean, maybe the closest you get is honestly like Seth with how over the top he is. Maybe main event Jey Uso just because of the over the topness of it, but it never will get to the degree of like your Stone Colds, your Rock the Dwayne Johnson when he was Flex Kavana, um, all that kind of stuff. But I think part of the problem with this show is the fact that it was on so damn early. Like I had to work, so I had it on the background in the background while I was working, and I will say I don't like them this early. It's hard to pay attention, and I know we have Monday morning Netflix this week because they're still in Australia. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. And I hope that part of me hopes that they give AJ a chance to do what Cena did and have a quasi retirement tour of his own, even if it's not like to the same degree. I would like to see them let Styles go and compete maybe at Bound for Glory before he retires in TNA, go back home, that kind of stuff, and like maybe get another one with Shinsuke before he retires. I would like to see him get a similar sort of treatment as Cena did because his contributions to the world of pro wrestling are not quite as prominent as Cena's, but they are definitely huge for the world of pro wrestling.
I'd love to see Styles get another crack at the World Heavyweight Championship. He's never won
Yeah.
that belt. And I mean, I don't think he's going to be one to beat Seth, but he could absolutely be put into a program with Seth. Hell, that's a great match for the Royal Rumble right there.
Yeah.
Let the two guys go at it. That would be a lot of fun. I'm so glad that we live in a time where we get to see AJ Styles wrestle because he's
Yep.
absolutely fantastic. And I mean, dude's what, 46 years old at this
Yep.
point, and he goes like somebody who's 26 years old.
And he
Like
he even brought out the retro trunks today.
I loved it. I loved it. So we mentioned larger than life personalities, and the show proper opened up with the Australian street fight between Roman Reigns and Big Bronson Reed. And to your credit, and Reese's credit, you guys both picked Big Bronson Reed to get the win, which really surprised me because I was really under the impression that WWE just doesn't have Roman Reigns lose. But after the way the match ended, which I'll let you talk about the match, it made sense to have Big Bronson Reed win. It's really shocking that they really have that much faith in him because they made a comment during the match that, and I guess I forgot about this, but Roman Reigns has been pinned 3 times in the last like 5 years.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso in a tag team match with at Crown Jewel a couple of years ago, and now Big Bronson Reed. That's a hell of a look. It's a
Who
hell of
did Punk get pinned at Mania then by Rollins? It had to have been, right?
yeah, I think so.
Okay. No, you're not wrong. That is a huge, huge show of faith for
Well,
Bronson
even
Reed.
even in a singles match, like I mean, he lost to Cody, but I mean, when's the last time Roman Reigns has lost in a singles match before Cody? Can you even remember? I
No,
can. It was Baron Corbin in right after he came back from his leukemia thing.
really. Was it that stupid dog food match?
Yeah,
I'm
that was
kidding.
the last time Roman Reigns. As far as I can remember, that's the last time Roman Reigns has lost because he didn't lose when he was the tribal chief. He
No,
did
that's
not
like 6 years ago.
once he got those titles, he did not lose.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's like
he
6 years
lost some
ago.
he lost some tag team matches in there, but he did not lose a singles match when he was the champion. He technically got disqualified against Seth Rollins, but he wasn't pinned at the
Yeah,
Royal
that was when Rollins came out dressed like the Shield. I enjoyed that match.
Rumble.
Um, no, you're not wrong. It's the fact that other than the Cody loss, it's been 6 or 7 years since Roman was pinned. Um, I mean, the match itself was kind of lackluster for a street fight. I wish that there would have been a little bit more outside like the ring shenanigans going on. But I mean, the important part was the story they told, and obviously Braun interfered, which we expected, and then that brought out the Usos, both of them, who Braun no sold and helped take out, which we mentioned that when you and I were talking. I think he needs to work on that. I think the no selling is not a super great look. At least make it look like they did something to you. But then the finish of the match came when Roman was setting up Braun, it looked like, to probably put him through the table in the corner. And Jay came in to spear Braun, only to spear Roman instead. And obviously, that's all she wrote. Braun gets the 1, 2, 3, and now has the acclaim of being one of 3 people to have pinned Roman in the modern wrestling. And I have a feeling that's going to be probably something that Paul Heyman brags about for a while whenever
Oh,
he
no
talks
doubt.
about Braun.
Mhm.
And I think that that's a good thing. I think like, I believe I said it during, I don't know if it was our pre show or maybe our Raw show, but it sort of helps elevate Bronson a little bit more to the same level that they've been treating Breaker. You know what I mean? And then after the match, you had Roman in that awkwardly long segment yelling at the Usos. So obviously, this is to help further that story as well of whatever's going to happen with the OG bloodline.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's good because it moves that story along. It moves Roman Reigns along a little bit, which I think is a good thing, which is something like we need to see. And we need to build towards a program, right? Like I don't know if Roman Reigns is going to be involved in the Survivor Series War Games match. We'll talk about what went on SmackDown in a little bit. Because it seems like you've kind of got a ready-made program between the Wyatts and the MFTs, and that's practically a 5-on-5 right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, especially if you pull the Street Profits into that group, right? I mean, because it sounds like one of them is going to turn heel. So you pretty much have a 5-on-5 ready to go right there. I mean, you're going to have to like finagle the card a little bit to get, the folks against the Vision in CM Punk and whoever else that ends up being to finagle a 5-on-5 there. I just don't know if people would want to see the MFTs versus the Wyatts in War Games, but
So I was reading something interesting about that War Games, and that the heel side for the men's one that is currently being floated around backstage is Seth, Bronson, Braun, Brock Lesnar, and for some reason, Austin Theory.
hmm.
Yeah. So unless they're gonna, I'm wondering, are they gonna debut or bring back Austin Theory from his injury as the additional man in the Vision, since he was aligned with Rollins at one point, back when
I could see
Rollins
it.
was the Monday Night Messiah?
I could see it. I could absolutely see it. I'd be fine with that. I mean, he needs something to do. Obviously, that he's done, he's very much done with Grayson Waller, and Grayson Waller seems like he's one step away from being future endeavored. So
Oh, real quick, speaking of future endeavor, did you hear they cut Wesley?
they cut a bunch of people from NXT, but yeah, Wesley was the big one.
That's crazy to me.
It usually happens. They kind of hide those things in
Yeah.
between. Most of it was enhancement talent for NXT, but Wesley was the notable name.
Yep.
So then we went right into the women's crown jewel match between Stephanie Becker and Tiffany Stratton. And this match was good too. I mean, of all of the matches on the card, this was probably the weakest one, but that's not really saying much because this match was excellent. And
Yeah.
I think it helped, and I'm not wanting to say that Tiffany's a bad wrestler because she's not. Tiffany's a very good wrestler, but it helped her so much not being in the ring with Jade Cargill and Nia Jax. It helped
Yep.
her so much. She really got an opportunity to shine. And I just wish that the crowd could get a little bit more, and maybe it was just this crowd, but I really wish that the crowd could get a little bit more behind these women because they put on a spectacular match. And it just seemed like if your name wasn't Rhea Ripley, you weren't getting cheered in by this crowd as a woman at
I
all.
mean,
I mean, it kind of sucked. I mean, not so much in this match because these women did get cheered, and there was, this is awesome chants that went on during this match. But taking me to the entrances, specifically in the other women's
yeah.
match, like Asuka and Kyrie came out to crickets, Io came out to crickets, Rhea got a massive pop because of course she did.
Yep.
But like it just, and these two women kind of came out to crickets as well. And I was like, that's a little disappointing. Like there are I kind of don't want them to go back to Australia. Like, go to one of these European cities because that would have been a blast. This crowd, I think this crowd, let's talk about the crowd for a second, actually, because I gotta say, I think this crowd was probably the biggest negative, the only negative for me on the entire show. I don't think this crowd added anything to the show. I don't think they heard it, but I don't think they really added anything to the show. They popped when they were supposed to. They had some, they got involved in some of the matches, but I just don't think this crowd added anything to the show.
They weren't as bad as some of like the US crowds have been, but they weren't as good as some of the other foreign crowds have been, like France or some of those European crowds that
Mm.
have absolutely torn the house down. I would say this was probably a mid-tier crowd. They did get a pretty decent pop when Stephanie did the Devil's Kiss. Um, do have to issue a correction though for both of us. It was not in fact Nia Jax to win the first Crown Jewel Championship. It was Liv Morgan.
Yes, it
We both,
was.
I believe, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I tried to wipe that match from my memory. Um, but no, the match itself was great. And when you have a Stephanie McCur at the top of her game and not sick like she's been for the last like month, you could tell that she brings the best out of her opponents as well. I
Well,
mean, the
she's competitive.
only point where there was like any sort of mistake was during that like sort of power bomb when Tiffany dropped Stephanie on her head a little bit. Um, and I don't know. My big complaint about Stephanie Vicker is using. I really hope that she starts using the corkscrew move as her actual finisher, because the Stephanie Vicker bomb, when she uses that, doesn't look like it has like any impact. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like a finisher to me. And I just there was a point there where she did it a couple times more like an actual power bomb instead of like dropping them on her leg, and it looked a little bit better. And I was hoping that that was what she was going to move it to. But I think that that's really the only thing I think she needs to change. I think everything else that she does in that ring is fantastic, and I'm glad that she got the win because I think that she needed it more than Tiffany.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, Tiffany didn't need this at all.
Yeah.
And like, that's exactly why Stephanie won. It would have hurt Stephanie to lose here.
Yep.
It would have stalled her momentum. Tiffany didn't need it. And I think of these two women, Tiffany is going to probably lose her title before Stephanie does.
I think Tiffany loses it soon. I think within the next 2 months or so.
Maybe, probably the Royal Rumble. I think she'll lose it at the Royal Rumble.
Do you think she'll hold it a year?
When did
Because
she
that
win it?
could right before the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, yeah, I give her about a year. Yeah, they'll
Okay.
they'll they'll have somebody take it off of her at that point. But regardless though, this match was excellent and these two women just tore the house down.
Yep.
So moving to the fourth match on the card, as we already talked about the Cena match, it saw Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors. While I didn't love the finish because I would have preferred the Kabuki Warriors to win here, there was no way Rhea Ripley was losing, and I called that in
You did.
predictions.
And
Like
I
it,
should have listened.
it, it makes a lot of sense for Rhea to pick up. Rhea just wasn't going to lose here. And I don't think that the story is hindered all that much because Kyrie was the one who got beat the crap out of a lot. Asuka did not Asuka did not take many bumps in this match. Like she got the better of Rhea, she got the better of Io quite a bit during this match, and they beat the piss out of Kyrie towards the end because they kind of were telling the story to make Kyrie look like the weaker link on
Yeah.
purpose. And I like that they did that. So, I don't think that this hurts Asuka to take the loss here at all. And we're definitely going to be getting singles matches between Asuka and both of these women in the future. And I think, should Asuka carry her momentum forward, I absolutely could see Asuka being a challenger for Stephanie.
So based on the way this match went, and I picked the Kabuki Warriors because I think it made more sense story wise for them to win. I should have gone with the hometown favorite simply because WWE loves their hometown people, and it's Rhea Ripley. But the the only way that I'm okay with the way this match ended is if it leads into Asuka on Monday being like, Kyrie, you're useless, and either abusing her some more or straight up like dropping her and being like, I want nothing to do with you because you're trash and you lost this match. And then that's how we get the singles matches between with Rhea and Io there.
Maybe. I don't think they're going to break up Asuka and Kyrie. I mean, I think Asuka will keep abusing her, but um, I don't think that they will break up like at all. Because what are you gonna do with Kyrie if she breaks up with Asuka? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not gonna do anything with her. So I don't think that I don't think that anything happens there. I think Asuka just gets more verbally abusive with her, and I think that they'll just kind of like continue it that way. But the match itself was excellent. I mean, these four women can go, and like the whole match was built around Rhea Ripley getting the hot tag, and then once the
Yep.
Ripley like ran roughshod, it was absolutely fantastic. But I mean, each one of these women got a chance to shine. I mean, Io went nuts for a little while too, and Io's another one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. Like, say what you want about WWE's women's division on SmackDown. The women's division on Raw, my God, is there a lot of top stars on Raw? All of the top stars seem like they're
Yep.
on Raw. And hell, most of them were on this card. Like,
No,
it was absolutely spectacular.
you're not wrong. I've said it for the last several weeks that the reason SmackDown's women's division is struggling the way it is because all of their top tier talent is on Monday Night Netflix. And I don't know if it's because Netflix demands that, but it's actively sabotaging their Friday night product.
Mhm. And then we went into the main event for the men's Crown Jewel Championship between WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. So we did get a segment where Paul Heyman told the Bronze not to interfere in this match because Seth had to win it on his own, which I liked that. I liked that they didn't
Yep.
come out. And, um, we'll talk about the way the match went down in a minute. Obviously, Seth Rollins did get the win over Cody to become the Crown Jewel champion. However, a lot of this match was really built around Cody being in Seth's head and
Yep.
Seth not being able to put him down. And Seth kept trying to like just bulldoze through Cody and go quickly and hit finishers and like really just try to put the match right away multiple times. And Cody just kept getting up and Seth could just not beat him. And finally, at the end of the match, Seth obviously had to cheat to win. Like, ref bump. He took the watch because he was going to use it. Then he didn't. Then he ended up taking the watch and clocking Cody in the side of the head, which busted him open, actually. And then he got the win after a super stomp off the middle rope. But I mean, this match. I mean, what can you say about this match? These two
Yeah.
guys are great. I mean, there was no way this match was going to suck. Like these guys are at the top of their game right now. I mean, there's what more can you say about it? Cody hit a Cody or a crossroads off the top rope. I mean, that was unbelievable. I've never seen that before. Like that
No.
was absolutely unbelievable. Seth Rollins winning is the right thing to do. Um, but what were your thoughts on the match?
So, I mean, this is the fourth time we've seen this match, and every single one, including the one with one-armed Cody, has been a fantastic match.
Mhm.
And this one was everything I expected it to be from what we've seen these two men do, including pull out some new moves that we hadn't seen before, like that goofy coast to coast headbutt that Seth did, and that like you said, the top rope crossroads was definitely that was a first that I know I've ever seen. My only complaint about this match is the ending. It just felt I don't know if lackluster is the right word, or even anticlimactic is like sort of there, but not quite it. Like I get he thought about going for the watch earlier and was conflicted about winning clean, and then just did what he had to win. But it just I don't know. Part of it just felt like I feel like he would have been better off winning clean.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I don't really feel like you need to protect Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes is going to be just fine either way, right? Like I really don't think that it matters that if Cody Rhodes were to take a clean loss here, like Gunther took a clean loss here last year and it was
Yep.
fine. It didn't hurt him at all. And I don't think I get maybe because Cody's your top guy and you need to protect him a little bit. And maybe, and we don't know this, maybe it will play into the story a little bit where they'll be like, well, Braun might say to him, well, you needed to cheat to win. Maybe they won't say it because they're heels, and they often don't do that. But I mean, somebody will say that to Seth
Yep.
eventually. You know what? CM Punk is the perfect person to
Yep.
say that to Seth at some point. He'll throw a jab in there like, hell, you couldn't even beat Cody Rhodes without being a two-faced asshole or something like that. You know what I mean? CM Punk will say something like that. Actually, I'm calling it right now. In the next couple of weeks, CM Punk is going to say that to Seth. He's going to
Oh
call
yeah.
him out. So yeah, so Seth winning is fine, but to your point, I think would it have been better if Seth won clean? Probably, but maybe we'll have to wait and see if they did it for a reason.
It's
So
just these
go ahead.
are these are zero consequence matches. So like especially this one, unlike the women's one where you had to protect Stephanie, like you said, neither of these men needed to be protected. Gunther took the clean loss. Why they could have afforded a clean loss.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. So I wanna get into like where do we go from here with these characters, but first I want to talk about overall thoughts for the show. And I mean, I don't want to say that this show is perfect, but I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Easy. This show was excellent. It could have used one more match because like I was not ready to be done with this show.
Yep.
Um, and there were a bit too many commercials. I'm not enjoying the ESPN era of WWE all that much. Like and there was like a women's moisturizer commercial at one point during one of the matches, and I was like, what are we doing here? Like, so I don't like commercials during my PLEs. I mean, I also don't like the fact that I saw the stupid WWE flippy ring thing like 16 times that the kid was playing with where Cody was kicking
Yep.
out of Jacob Fatu or whatever. Like I didn't need that like 15 times. I guess it was better than seeing 15 commercials of The Rock's new movie.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just the world we live in. And what am I going to do? Complain about it? So I get it.
This show was definitely a better representation of what a WWE PLE should be like rather than what WrestlePalooza was.
Mhm.
I feel like WWE almost would have been better off starting with this one. You know what I mean? Would have given them a better look as their debut. I said going into this that I thought 5 matches was too few. I thought that it should have had at least one, maybe two more, considering this was considered one of their crown shows. But I don't know. I'd either put it at a 4 or 4.5. It was it's hard to say that there's ever a perfect WWE show just because there's always something to complain about. But this was probably about as close as we will get to perfection for them.
Yeah, I mean, spectacular from top to bottom. So one of our subscribers brought up, wanted to talk about where we go with Cody and, because obviously Randy Orton didn't come out and where we go with Rollins too, right? So I wanted to get into that a little bit with you. So I think Rollins' path forward is quite clear, right? Like Rollins is going to come out on Monday. He's going to brag about being the best, and the Browns are going to come out and brag. And Paul's probably going to cut another Paul Heyman speech about how look at what these guys did. Look at who they beat. And then they're going to get interrupted by CM Punk and LA Knight, and that's going to kind of continue its thing, I think. And then we'll probably have a segment between Jay and Roman and Jimmy, and that will kind of carry that thing over, probably into the War Games match. I think Cody is probably done with Seth and with the Vision. I think
Yep.
for now. Um, as you mentioned, Cody's probably going to be moving into a program with Jacob Fatu. But let's talk about the Randy thing with Cody. Like, he obviously didn't come out because the Vision obviously didn't come out.
Yep.
And the heel turn that we all think it was going to happen or is eventually going to happen, I kind of feel like it just needs to happen at this point. I think because as cool of an idea as I think it would be, I don't think they're going to turn Cody heel. Like I just don't think it's going to happen. At least not with Randy Orton, right? Like a face Randy Orton versus the heel Cody Rhodes. I don't see that in the
Yeah.
cards for them. And if they were going to turn Cody heel, I feel like they should have did it with the Cena thing.
Yep.
Like that was a better time to do it. I mean, obviously we know how much they shit the bed with the Cena heel run, to begin with. But I don't know. I don't see a Cody heel turn happening. And so I kind of just feel like we're just kind of like in limbo here until the Randy thing happens because I just kind of feel like that's the direction they're going to go for Mania, right? Like Cody and Randy just that seems like the Mania match.
So that's the problem is it's Randy Orton, and everybody knows that Randy Orton works much better as a heel than a face. I mean, yeah, he can play the face role when he needs to,
He's
but
been a face for a while though. He's been a
yeah,
face for a while.
overall though, Randy has always been a better character as a bad guy. Because it lets him really play up his craziness and trying to be a good guy and playing up, oh, the voices in his head and he's crazy. It doesn't really it doesn't really hit the mark as well as it does as when he's a bad guy. So that leads into the problem that we've had now for like the last 6 months, where we've been waiting for the pin to drop and Randy to turn heel. And I think that is what ties into your feeling of like being stuck in limbo. In regards to what our subscriber mentioned, I think that a Cody heel turn would be awesome. I think it would allow them to tell other stories. And the problem is, though, what competition does he have on SmackDown other than Drew McIntyre, Randy, and Jacob Fatu, who we know is going to be moving into it because he on SmackDown basically told Cody he wanted a shot at the title. I mean, there are a lot of B players over on SmackDown. I mean, since it is the B show, you have your Aleister Black, you have your Sammy, you have your Damian Priest. But I believe you and I have talked about it before. Who can we even legitimately consider a contender out of that to Cody, regardless of if he's heel or face? You know what I mean?
I
So
mean,
I don't.
the only person who realistically can beat Cody Rhodes, who is an active member of the SmackDown roster right now, is Randy Orton. That's
Yeah,
it.
because I don't
You would
see
say Drew
Fatu.
McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre's already lost to him.
Yep,
Or
and I don't see
Cody's
Fatu
already
yet.
beaten Drew McIntyre. So like if they were gonna pull the trigger on Drew, they already would have. I'm not saying Drew couldn't do it because you could represent Drew as the champion, but all of the people who are at the level who could beat Cody are on Raw.
Yeah, and that's the problem. So I don't think it matters as far as if you're going to talk Cody being a heel or face. I think because of the people that are around him, I don't think that it would be as impactful as it should be. So I feel like as fun as a Cody heel turn would be, I feel like it should be held on to until it would make more of an impact.
Let me ask you a question about the belts. So I get what they're trying to do with Seth's belt to try and make it more prestigious, and I think Seth winning this show helped that. But do we have a problem with WWE because those two belts are too top heavy now? And it kind of seems like we don't have enough stars now who realistically could be champion anymore. And we don't use those mid card belts properly. I mean, they're trying with the US title, and it was really cool to see Shinsuke Nakamura return with his old music, which I love his old music.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see him return on SmackDown. And I've made it very clear what my feelings of Dominic Mysterio are and what they should be doing with that belt. But especially because those two main belts have become so big star dependent where it just doesn't seem realistic that like 90% of the roster could win those belts anymore. Um, you either need to do something more with your mid card belts, which I think they're trying to do with the US title. They're not trying to do it all with the IC title. That's been turned into a joke title. And but I feel like they need to maybe find a way to make a change. And I know the direction is Seth versus CM Punk, right? And probably Cody versus Randy. I mean, Randy's the only person who could probably take the title off of Cody. And frankly, I think Seth, it's like three people. It's Punk,
So,
it's Roman, or it's Braun Breaker.
yeah. So that's the thing. When you had the SmackDown title and you had like your John Cena, your Roman Reigns, your Cody Rhodes holding it, that 100% is a title that can only be held by a certain, let's say, quality of star.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who is, as we mentioned earlier about what was missing in modern day wrestling, larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they had an opportunity with the Raw title when it was on Gunther and how they had Jay take the title off Gunther. They very well could have taken that opportunity to use the Raw title to elevate more people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like that Raw title, LA Knight could have won that Raw title. That
Mm-hmm.
Raw title, Penta could win that Raw title. Like, you know what I mean? Like that Raw title was in the perfect spot to be used to elevate people to that next level. And once you can use that, once you've elevated them to that level, at that point you can start working on trying to build them up to be able to go for the other title. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
by having them put the belt back on CM Punk and then Seth, and now with like Roman over there, it sort of kind of locks that title into oh, now it's only the quasi larger than life guys who can go after this one now too. And I think that kind of backs WWE into a corner here. And with how they're sort of representing people, like I'm very curious to see down the road, what whatchamacallit from NXT looks like when he comes up to WWE, the champion. The hell was his name?
Oba.
The rule. Oba, yeah. When he comes up, you want to talk larger than life people? There's like your larger than life person. He's somebody that Raw title could have been going for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they do, but I feel like there's a problem. There's going to be a problem with these titles eventually, right?
Yep,
And I I think it starts with getting that damn title off of Dominic Mysterio and
100% agree.
getting it onto somebody who's actually going to wrestle. Like
Penta needs to win it on Monday morning.
like that title needs to go on to somebody who's actually going to wrestle. Penta, Rusev, Finn Balor, somebody
Yep.
who's going to wrestle every week and frankly do what Sami Zayn is doing. It's just that
Yeah.
unfortunately there's no stars on SmackDown, right? Like there's just not enough talent on SmackDown. And do you want to briefly touch on because I know you watched all of SmackDown. I didn't finish it. I kind of skipped through it. So did you want to touch on anything noteworthy that happened on SmackDown?
The Obviously, Shinsuke Nakamura answered the U.S. Open Challenge with his original music. There's talk now that a bunch of stars backstage are pushing to either get their original music back or get new music now that Def Rebel looks to be out. And I'm all for that. I know you are as well. We've talked about how generic sounding a lot of these themes sound like nowadays. And back before it was Def Rebel, they did a pretty good job with their entrance music. So here's hoping that that becomes a thing. That U.S. Open Challenge didn't have an ending because we got a returning Samoan Gremlin in Tama Tonga. So it looks like the MFTs are now whole and moving into a ready-made program versus the Wyatt Six, who beat the Street Profits to retain their title. They had a face-to-face confrontation with them, so that could be fun depending on what they do with it. Then they set up Fatu and McIntyre for next week with for a match between the two of them. Obviously, that will burn the house down. And then the final match of the night was the
Alex.
last man standing match between Damian Priest and Aleister Black, and Aleister Black ended up getting the win after Zelina Vega showed up, and he all of a sudden became a wizard and threw a fireball in Damian Priest's face. I mean, it was a pretty low level fireball, so he must have rolled like a nat one, but it definitely was not as good as Chris Jericho's fireballs. But I guess only one person can be a that charismatic of a wizard.
Speaking of which, John Cena did put AJ Styles in the Walls of Jericho, and they called it the Walls of Jericho twice. Do
Yeah,
you think Jericho's coming back to WWE?
he has said in the past in interviews that he would never say never.
Because, I mean, I know his contract is coming up with AEW, and I feel like the AEW fan base is starting to shit on him a little bit.
Yeah,
So, could be
and
interesting.
I could see him coming back if they're going to put him in like the Hall of Fame
Yeah, give him one final run.
against a returning Kevin Owens.
Be fun.
You've made the list.
That would be fun. So, so that was Crown Jewel Perth, and yeah, guys, great show, and I absolutely loved it. I'm really looking forward to Raw on Monday morning, and it's going to be a lot of fun as we build towards Survivor Series, which is coming in late November. There might be a Saturday night's main event in there, but
There is.
yeah, but we've got a big Survivor Series coming to you from Petco Park in San Diego at late November. So it is going to be a good show. We'll finally get back to the 8 p.m. Saturday shows, which will be good, I think.
Yes.
Um, so with that, I've been Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, joined with Mr. Sean O'Neill. And thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, please leave your comments down below in the YouTubes and let us know what you guys think of the podcast and what do you think of the show. And we'll catch you guys later. Have a great evening and take care.